Hi, I'm Lisa Lanzkowsky with the AIChE Foundation as the Chief Development Officer, and I am pleased to be sitting with Matt Koenings today, who just gave a wonderful kickoff keynote at our Global Congress in Process Safety. Matt, you come with a lot of history and past experience, recently retiring from DuPont as the Vice President of Operations and the Chief Engineer for DuPont. Not only serving in that role at DuPont, also serving CCPS's advisory board and on our foundation board of trustees as well. I'd like to welcome you and congratulate you on such a wonderful keynote today, and thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm really delighted to be here. I really enjoy being able to talk about undergraduate education.
So one of the things that you hit on today in your talk that I felt was really very powerful and really struck a chord with many of the people in the room was this idea of, what can we be doing differently than what we've done in the past to address what we look at as almost like our license to operate.
Yes.
As chemical engineers and process safety education. And there's something about your own passion for this program. I'd love to hear a little bit about that piece, and obviously DuPont has come behind this program in a very significant way thanks to your leadership and your passion behind it. So I'm curious a little bit about that.
Sure. So I think many of us in industry have recognized that a good solid foundation in process safety management theory, let's call it, is a critical success factor in a successful career in process safety industries in a broader sense.
Sure.
And while we're here around chemical engineering, it applies to any engineering discipline that's working on process safety, I believe. And what I think we're doing now with the undergraduate program is getting people early and baking that into their heads, into the culture coming out of the universities in a way that it's much more effective. All companies are going to want to build on that, right? You're going to want to get some on-the-job education and experience for some of the advanced skills. But the basic skills are so fundamental and so broadly held that I think it's great that we can do this in a formal, uniform way that actually ends up being certified and recognized by people in the industry and in academia.
Sure. So you talked a lot about the three major components of the priority, one being faculty workshops, where industry partners are bringing faculty members to the plant and their facilities, developing a holistic curriculum that students can access for free anywhere in the world, as well as going to students directly on campuses and hosting university student boot camps. And I know that you yourself dedicated your own weekend to join us at one of our student boot camps.
Yes.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about what do you think about this three-prong approach and the effectiveness and why that is a core element, in making this successful.
I think the three pieces fit together extremely well. I mean, I think you can start with any of the three if you want, but I'll start by describing just the core curriculum. Those SASH modules, we're at 26 on our way to 34 or something like that. So it's quite a number, but they're broken into three sections where we've got basics, some intermediates, and some advanced. And I think if we can get all the basics, some of the intermediates, depending on the person's schooling focus, before they graduate, that's something that can be common across all industries. The advanced ones, I think, benefit from some on-the-job experience. And so I would delay those till later. Now, some students are in cooperative education programs, so they're getting that experience along the way. They might be able to march all the way through it. And what's been working well is that these are formal, that there is certification that goes with it. People recognize that they demonstrate the skills in order to get certified. You then have that material that needs the faculty and the students to value it, right? And so once the faculty are aware of it, we really want them to have some appreciation to the manufacturing plants and facilities that we're talking about, and too often they don't. And so having the workshops at a plant where they can visit the facilities and see the enormous scale that some of them have compared to a laboratory is extremely valuable. It gives them the background to be able to effectively teach the material in the future. And in the meantime, we've got AIChE and industry professionals who can augment, right? And I think that combination of having a consortium approach has been very effective. I see the students respond to seeing executives and professionals from companies value it, right? They came and they spent their morning with us on Saturday also. I can tell you I was very impressed at the University of Delaware to see that many students at 0800 on Saturday morning eager to learn about process safety. So we were doing something right.
So if you were going to offer some advice to, say, a student or a faculty member, what kind of advice would you offer them, in this really major focus for the profession as they prepare, students embarking on their career? What advice would you offer?
So I would say look for creative ways to incorporate it into the existing programs. Ideally, you'd like to have courses focused on it, but it's too much to try to contain within the existing engineering degrees that we have. They're already 4.5-year programs going on to 5 too often. So what I think is a successful plan that I've experienced is building it into existing courses. You can insert it in certain parts of course material quite naturally, and if you can have that discussion with the professors, with the department chairs, with the head of the College of Engineering, you can come up with a way to do that that doesn't displace some other accreditation requirement.
Right.
And I think we've got to do that in a cooperative fashion.
Yeah, I think that collaboration and the cooperation that you really spoke about really hits on how we really move this forward. So I just would like to thank you, Matt, for taking the time not only to do an incredible keynote today, but sitting with us today and with our AIChE community on Connected. So thank you and congratulations again.
You're welcome. I appreciate it.